The story of Joseph and the colorful coat. Long ago, in a land of wide fields and rolling hills, lived a boy named Joseph. Joseph was a young boy with dark, curly hair, kind brown eyes, and a gentle way of speaking. He often smiled softly and listened carefully when others talked. Joseph was not the oldest in his family. He had many older brothers, all taller and stronger than him. Joseph lived with his father, Jacob, who had gray hair, a long beard, and a warm, caring voice. Jacob loved all his sons, but he felt especially close to Joseph because Joseph had been born when Jacob was very old. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a very special gift. It was a long, beautiful coat covered in many bright colors, reds, blues, yellows, and greens that shimmered in the sunlight. Joseph gently ran his fingers over the fabric. The coat made him feel loved. But when Joseph's brothers saw the coat, their faces changed. They crossed their arms. They frowned. They whispered to one another. They felt jealous. Joseph's brothers worked long days in the fields. They wore plain clothes, dusty from work, and their hands were rough from caring for sheep. Joseph sometimes stayed closer to home. This made his brothers feel angry inside. One night, Joseph had a dream. In the dream, bundles of grain stood tall, and his brothers' bundles bowed down to his. Joseph, with his bright eyes full of excitement, told his brothers about the dream. But instead of smiling, they grew even more upset. "Do you think you are better than us?" they said. Joseph didn't mean to hurt them. He was simply sharing. But their jealousy grew like a storm cloud. One day, far from home, Joseph went to check on his brothers. He walked across the dusty land wearing his colorful coat, the fabric shining brightly against the brown earth. When his brothers saw him coming, they whispered angrily. "This is our chance," they said. They grabbed Joseph. Joseph cried out, frightened and confused. They pulled off his colorful coat, the coat that made him feel safe. Joseph felt cold and scared without it. Instead of helping him, the brothers made a terrible choice. They sold Joseph to travelers going to Egypt, a land far away with tall buildings and busy streets. As Joseph was taken away, he looked back one last time. He felt alone, but even then, God was still with him. Egypt was very different from Joseph's home. Joseph was now a young man with dark, curly hair, warm brown eyes, and strong shoulders shaped by hard work. His face looked more serious than before, but his eyes still showed kindness, patience, and quiet strength. He wore simple Egyptian clothes, light in color, made for warm days. Even though life felt unfair, Joseph worked hard every day. He was kind. He was honest. He did his best in everything he did. People began to notice the young man with the calm voice and gentle eyes. Even when Joseph was blamed for something he did not do and sent to prison, he did not give up. The prison was dark and quiet, with stone walls and soft torchlight. Joseph sat among other prisoners, listening carefully as they shared their worries. Joseph helped others and spoke kindly to them. God gave Joseph wisdom. Joseph explained dreams to the prisoners, speaking calmly and clearly, and his words were always true. Even in prison, God had not forgotten Joseph. One day, the king of Egypt, called Pharaoh, had troubling dreams. Pharaoh wore fine white robes, a golden crown, and sat on a large throne inside a bright palace with tall columns. His face looked worried and confused. No one could explain his dreams, but Joseph could, wearing clean but simple clothes. With God's help, Joseph explained the dreams. Pharaoh listened closely. He was amazed, and giving him great responsibility. Joseph was no longer a prisoner, he was a leader. Years later, during a time of hunger, they were older now, wearing dusty traveling clothes, their faces tired and worried. Joseph's brothers came to Egypt looking for food. They did not recognize Joseph. Joseph looked at them. His kind brown eyes filled with emotion. His heart felt many things. He could have been angry, but instead he chose forgiveness. With tears in his eyes, Joseph said gently, "I am your brother Joseph." The brothers gasped, but Joseph smiled softly. "What you meant for harm," Joseph said, "God used for good." They hugged and cried together. The family was reunited. Joseph learned something very important. God has a plan, even when life feels unfair. Kindness and forgiveness are powerful. You are never alone. And that colorful coat, once torn away, it became a reminder, not of jealousy, but of hope. The end.